Hello, good morning. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Market's closed. Wanted to put my thoughts into a video regarding some of the trading that I've been doing around IBB, which is the iShares Trust, biotech stock ETF. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. It's a stock that I've been trading pretty heavily, pair trading it with the overall market SPY included, or really I should say for the for really the last few months, this is something that I've been tracking, just sort of keeping track of the overall strength of the market. And when we broke that big $100 level, I was getting long there. Obviously, bought enough time and was trying to remain patient. As you can see here, my first entry was back here on, I believe, the 17th of December. I started buying some 110 strike calls at about $1.95. The following few days, I should say, price precipitously ran south of my initial purchase price, so I was buying some add-on calls as well just to get my cost basis down. That's one thing that I've recently started to become a little bit more aware of in terms of aggressively spreading out my entries. This was a phenomenal example of that. If I didn't, I probably would have gotten stuck with a pretty nasty price. So fortunately for me, it was really, I was slotting away, the capital that I wanted to put in every day. I was, putting in anywhere from $350 to $500 daily. I ended up getting the position size maybe up to $3,000 or $4,000 before I was happy with the base position that I was then trying to scalp out of. But we did get a really nice dead cat bounce there, a really strict straight up V. You don't really see that too often. You kind of get some sideways action here, but we really just took back off, got back right up to this range we were trading at previously, and have been sort of dangling around since. But I wanted to put this down on paper, on TradingView, I should say, just so I can conceptualize the trade myself, because it worked out really well. I think it was a 4 or 5xer, so it was a pretty big one, and it ended up working out quite well. This stock performed very well in line with the market. I'd be willing to bet the beta is north of 1, probably $1.50 or 1.5, I should say, 1 1/3, 1.5, somewhere around there. This thing's really market driven. That doesn't necessarily follow it one-on-one, but the general market sentiment typically trades with IBB. So it has worked out, being the markets popped and have found those bids and have bounced back up to recent levels. I think we're within 10 or so percent of all-time highs again, so we're not far away. Really just dead cat V bounce, and if you can see here on the fibs, this is how I like to place it out. So we're trading back into this zone, right back here into the zeros, which would be interesting to see if we pop above 300. I think we see that before the end of Q1. But back to IBB, I believe my average was just above $1, so I think we were $1.15 or so. So I had a really nice average, and I was able to sell out for I think a 4 something. I think my average execution was around the 4s. But I was really just buying every day, and if we were seeing a nice 2% dip, 3% dip even, I was doubling my purchases. I really no longer buy calls or buy puts on the corresponding day where it's either up or down. You really need you need some pullback in order to get an attractive price on these options, just given how big the spreads are. If you're paying attention to these guys, we're probably trading anywhere from 50 to a 75-cent spread. So you really wanted to get long on the bid as the stock got pounded, and that's what I did when we broke that $100 level. I was literally every single level sitting on the bid, just taking those fills, and I knew eventually we'd bounce back because the weighting of the S&P 500 in terms of biotech stocks is pretty high. So I just assumed that we would bounce and IBB would follow suit, and that's sort of what we did. As of the market, right, the last few weeks have been sort of all over the place. I've been buying Qs, been buying overall market SPY calls, really started selling some spreads in Cron, but wanted to get this video out there. I know I've been a little rusty in terms of my follow through and my talking about the markets and whatnot, so I just wanted to get this out there to conceptualize my IBB trade, which I thought was one of my better ones of the last few months. So figured I'd get a video out there so I could share that with you guys. Really, what's most important is understanding the option series you're trading. Know the Greeks. Don't go all in first day. You're going to be wrong. 100% of your entries, the first click, are always going to be wrong. So that's why you got to break them up into as many, purchase orders as you can. Do not buy one order. You want to be buying 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 executions on a series. Not so much with options. In stock, that's what I do. I usually take around 20 to 25 executions to accumulate my full position size. Highly recommend you bring that principle of stock trading into the options trading world, because there's just too many things that can go wrong, too many variables, and it's smart to keep buying day after day, because eventually you will be right, as long as the stock trades in your overall direction. And then maybe if things go well, I can put out a video in terms of spread trading and taking in credits when markets don't really do much. That'll be a different concept, different video, but hope this added some value to someone somewhere. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, I'll be back maybe this weekend with some additional videos. But hope you guys have a great Monday, nice day off, and do well this week. Thanks.